gentleman, Timothy Everest.
Thanks, Dennis. I'm not very good at public speaking, so in Tommy's style, it'll probably be a double mumble. Thank you very much for coming tonight, and also thank you very much to the museum for actually hosting this. It was a conversation probably 2 years ago, post an exhibition that you had here, and you're very intrinsically linked with Newham, which is supporting tailoring. And we talked about the relevance of having something about Tommy, who was a very dear friend to me and a lot of people here tonight, and I wanted it to be sort of a retrospective of his work and a celebration of what he actually achieved and was about, but also we felt the timing was very good from a relevance point of view, and hopefully people who knew Tommy will sort of rediscover what he was about, and also people who haven't, younger generation who we've been talking to the last few days, will actually be inspired by some of the clothing that he has here. There's lots of influences here which you could find a reference from Tom Ford to Gucci and so on. So Tommy was a real inspiration. I wasn't involved in the early days, so there are other people here who can talk about that, but he often talked about coming to work and seeing people like John and Yoko standing semi-naked in the shop and being rather embarrassed. And I said, how did that feel, Tommy? He said, well, I was only from Leeds and I'm only 26 and I felt like going home. So he was very kind. I joined him in the early 80s, and as a young boy, I wanted to be in fashion, and I answered this advert in the Evening Standard. All he wanted on Savile Row, and I didn't really realise the significance of that until and I rather nervously went along. I was living in Wales on the west coast at the time, and I was interviewed by Tommy, this young lady who was actually become my wife, Catherine. Tommy was very impressive, because once I started talking to him, he was quite a cool guy. He was a lot younger than I expected someone on Savile Row to be, and he started to say, do you know anything about me? I said, of course, I know a lot about you. And he said, no, you don't. And I said, no, I don't. So he pulled all these pictures out of fabulous people like the double tweed with you, Cilla, and wonderful pictures of Abbey Road, and I thought, this is fantastic. I know a little bit about tailoring, so I'm working with an uncle of mine, and it was a fashionable job, so I pestered him for weeks, actually, and I got told that Mr. Nutt was very busy, Mr. Nutt was in Brighton, Mr. Nutt couldn't possibly come to the phone. And very sweetly, after several weeks, he gave me the opportunity to work with him on a 3-month trial that lasted maybe 5 years. And it was a wonderful time, because he was very generous, and one of the things I could do was sketch, so I used to do a little drawing when he was doing something else, and it was another one of those dolls, and we'd end up working on the world tour and so on. But I hope everyone enjoys tonight, and is inspired by what he's done. And also, I'd like to hand over to a very dear friend of Tommy's, and I don't know very well, although I was reminiscing about a night post surprise, where I rather embarrassed at a dinner party and tucked the tablecloth into my trousers as I left. I thought gracefully, of Cilla and her lovely husband Bobby. Tommy always spoke very fondly of Cilla, and would be very happy for Cilla and all his friends, Tony, and many other people here tonight who have been here to support him. He's a tremendous chap, and we miss him all very much. So I'd like to introduce and hand over to Cilla Black.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. It's lovely to be here. Mind you, at my age, it's lovely to be anywhere. It really is. I was so thrilled. Thank you, Timothy. When I was first invited, actually, it was Meryl, a good friend, a mediator, that said, have you got a Tommy Nutter suit to donate to this wonderful exhibition? And I said, yeah, I've got loads in the loft. And I went to the loft, and I was there for 3 days. I was like Miss Havisham, all cobwebs over everything. And I found a suit that's down there, and oh, gosh, when I look at it now, how did I get into it? It's such a long time ago, but I mean, Tommy was a dear, dear friend. He really was. Bobby invested in the company, and he was just so talented, and but rotten with money. Rotten. He was not a great businessman. He was exactly like, well, dear Ozzie Clark, really. And so we got together, and I remember the first day in Savile Row before it opened, and we were all sat on the floor in the shop, and it wasn't opened, and we were having a glass of wine and giggling like kids. Oh, he was the first and the youngest person, tailor, that would open in Savile Row for over 100 and whatever years. And we were all excited. And then these Americans turned up and knocked on the door. Well, they never left the same people when they arrived, because another bottle of champagne was opened. And it was a great time. And Tommy was a terrific person, a terrific friend. And I still miss him dearly today. He would have loved this. He really would have loved this in his honour. He would have been very, very shy and in speaking. He probably wouldn't have spoken here tonight. And let, you know, just his work do the talking. And I'm very proud, I'm very honoured to be here tonight and see all my friends. And dare I say, I hope it never gets to the press, but Tony King is there. And the first words out of my mouth was, "Oh my God, there's Tony. He first turned me on to cannabis." Not anymore. Only once. Only once. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I have a great time tonight. And without cannabis, I'm just drinking. Thank you very much all for coming. And I believe Ringo's going to arrive. Yes, any minute, hopefully. And then I'll be Billy No Face. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this opening and come time and time again. Lots of love.